session. So in the previous session we learned about the meaning of business and characteristics of business, and as well as we learned the differences between the business, profession and employment. Now the new topic is business activities chart. So here the business activity charts can be classified into two types. So the business activities chart. So the business activities chart can be broadly classified into two types. In that first one is industry. And the second one is commerce. So here business activities chart can be classified into two types. In that first one is industry and the second one is commerce. So again in this, industry can be classified into three types. So here industry can be classified into three types. In that first one is primary industry. And second one is secondary industry. And third one is territory industry. So here industry can be classified into three types. In that first one is primary industry and secondary industry, and the third one is territory industry. And again in this primary industry, here we are going to classify it into the two types. In that first one is extractive industry. And the second one is genetic industry. So here primary industry can be classified into two types. In that first one is extractive industry and the second one is genetic industry. And again in the secondary industry, here we are going to broadly classify into two types. Here in the secondary industry can be broadly classified into two types. First one is manufacturing industry. And the second one is construction industry. So here secondary industry can be classified into two types. In that first one is manufacturing industry and the second one is construction industry. And again in this manufacturing industry, here we broadly classified into four types. In that first one is, here the manufacturing industry may be classified into four types. In that first one is analytical industry. And the second one is synthetical industry. And third one is processing industry. And the fourth one is assembling industry. Fourth one is assembling and genetic industry. And again in this secondary industry here we are going to classify it into two types. In that first one is manufacturing industry and construction industry. And again in this manufacturing industry here we are going to classify it into the four types. In that first one is analytical industry, synthetical industry, processing industry, and as well as assembling industry. And next type is commerce. So the business type can be classified into the two types. The first one is industry. You already know about the types of industries. And the next one is commerce. So the commerce can be broadly classified into two types. So here commerce broadly classified into two types. In that first one is trade. In that first one is trade. And the second one is auxiliaries to trade. And the second type is auxiliaries to trade. Auxiliaries to trade. So commerce can be broadly classified into two types. In that first one is trade and the second one is auxiliaries to trade. And again in this trade can be classified into two types. First one is here the trade can be classified into two types. In the first one is internal trade and the second one is external trade. So trade broadly classified into two types. In the first one is internal trade and the second one is external trade. Again in this internal trade here we are going to broadly classify into the two types. Here internal trade can be broadly classified into the two types. In the first one is wholesale trade. In that first one is wholesale trade. And the second one is retail trade. And second one is retail trade. So your internal trade can be classified into two types. In the first one is wholesale trade and the second one is retail trade. And the next one is external trade. So the external trade can be broadly classified into three types. So the external trade can be classified into three types. In that first one is import, export. Second one is export. And third one is interport. Third one is interport. So here external trade can be classified into three types. First one is import, second one is export, and third one is interport. And next one is here the auxiliaries to trade. So here the auxiliaries trade can be classified into four types. So here the auxiliaries to trade means here they are going to give services to your business activities. So the auxiliaries means here they are going to provide services. So what are the services means? In that first one is transportation. In that first one is transportation. First one is transportation. And the second one is warehousing. Second one is warehousing. And the third one is insurance. And the third one is insurance. And the fourth one is banking and finance. So I am going to write here. The fourth one is banking and finance. Banking and finance. And the fifth one is advertising. It is explain this business chat activity. So the business chat activity can be broadly classified into two types. In the first one is industry and the second one is commerce. So the industry can be broadly classified into three types. In the first one is primary industry and the second one is secondary industry and the third one is tertiary industry. And again in the primary industry, here we are going to classify into the two types. In the first one is extractive industry and the second one is genetic industry. And again in the secondary industry, here we are going to classify into the manufacturing industry and construction industry. And again in this manufacturing industry, here we are going to classify into the four types. In the first one is analytical industry, synthetical industry, processing industry and assembling industry. And the next one is commerce. So the commerce broadly classified into the two types. In the first one is trade, auxiliaries to trade. So here trade can be broadly classified into the two types. In the first one is internal trade and the second one is external trade. So again here internal trade can be broadly classified into the two types. In the first one is wholesale trade and the second one is retail trade. And again in the external trade, here we are going to classify into the three types. In the first one is import trade and the second one is export trade and the third one is interport trade. And again in this auxiliaries industries, auxiliaries to trade. So it can be classified into the five types, and that means here the auxiliaries means services. What are the services they are going to provide to a commerce or the industries? Means the first one is transportation and the second one is warehousing and third one is insurance and fourth one is banking and finance and the last one is advertising. So this is all about the business activities chat. So it is important for 8-mark question. And also here they are going to ask for practical oriented question 5 marks. Understand? So now we are going to let us know about the meanings of industry, commerce and all the classifications. So here business activities may classify into two types. The first one is industry and commerce. Now we are going to know the meanings of industry and the other classification meanings. So in the first one is industry. So the industry means here the industry is an economic activity. So the industry means is an economic activity where which are concerned economic activity So here industry is an economic activities which are connected with the which are connected with the conversion of resources into useful product or useful goods. So the industry means the industry is an economic activities which are connected with the conversion of resources. So the resources means raw materials. So the resources means raw materials. So the raw materials can be converted into a useful goods. So the useful goods means finished goods. So the useful goods means finished goods is known as industry. So dear students, the industry is an economic activities which are connected with the conversion of raw materials into finished goods is known as industry. So here the industry is a group of companies. So the industry is a group of companies related to the business. So that means here they are going to establish the different products. It is called as industry. And for example here cotton industry. So cotton products. For everybody got the example of industries. So the industry means first one is cotton industries. So the cotton industries means here they linked with the cotton textiles. Here they are going to produce only cotton products. And another example is electric products. So here they linked with the electric items. Here they are going to finish their they convert their raw materials into a finished product. This is the best example for industry. Here they may ask in the 1 mark or 2 mark question, what is industry? Here they are going to ask 1 or 2 marks question. For 1 mark question, here they are going to tell state any one example of industry means here you have to give a cotton industry or a electric industries. And the next one, what is industry means here you have to write this meaning. So the industry is an economic activities which are connected with the conversion of raw materials or resources into a useful goods or a finished goods. And now let's move to the classification of industry. In the first one is primary industry. So in this first classification is classification of industry. In that first one is primary industry. So here the primary industry means here the primary industry includes all the activities which are concerned with the extraction and production of natural resources. That means here they are going to extract their goods from a natural. That means here they are going to extract their goods in a earth. Extract the resources from earth. So everybody got the meaning of primary industry. So the primary industry means here it includes here they are going to extract the resources from the earth is known as primary industry, and here they are going to extract natural resources from the earth, and also it develops a reproduction and development of the living organism. So the primary industry means here they are going to extract the resources from the earth, and that resources will be used in the development and reproduction of organisms. It is known as a primary industry. Next one is primary industry. So the primary industry can be broadly classified into two types. In the first one is extractive industry. First one is extractive industry. So the extractive industry can be defined as a process that involves the different activities that lead to the extraction of raw materials from the earth to be used by consumers. Understand? So the extractive industry. So the extractive industry means here it can be defined as a process that involves different activities. Process that involves different activities that lead to the extraction Dear students, please make these meanings. So the extractive industries means here it is a process that involves different activities that lead to the extraction of raw materials from the earth to be used by the consumers. So for example mining. So for example mining, hunting and fishing. So a primary industry means extracting the resources from the earth. So in that classification, extracting industry, here it involves a different activities that leads to a extraction of raw materials from the earth to be used by consumer. For example, mining, hunting and fishing. So this can be asked for one mark question. State the example of extracting industry. So here mining, hunting and fishing. Understand? So the next type in primary industry is genetic industry. So here genetic industry means these industries are engaged in breeding. So these industries are engaged in breeding. So these industries are engaged in breeding the plants and animals for their reproduction. Animals for their reproduction. So the genetic industries means, so genetic industry refers to here it involves breeding plants and animals for their use in further reproduction. Here they are going to use this animal for reproduction. For example, cattle breeding farms. Cattle farms and poultry farms, etc. So here genetic industries are those, here they are going to use the product breeding plants and animals for their reproduction. For example, for their use. For example, cattle farming and poultry farms. And the next classification of industry is secondary industry. So here secondary industry. So these are concerned with the using materials which are already extracted from a primary industries, which have already extracted from primary industry. So which have already extracted from primary industries and that process such goods and that process of materials can be converted into finished products. So the secondary industries are those industries which have already extracted from primary industry and that process of materials can be converted into finished products. For example, mining. So in this first part, in the primary industry, here they are going to extract goods or raw materials from mining. So that mining can be converted into a iron. That means here they are going to shape that mining, the irons may be in steels. This is the best example for secondary industry. So what the meaning of secondary industry? So here the industry can be broadly classified into two types. First one is primary and secondary. So primary can be broadly classified into two types and secondary can be broadly classified into two types. And that first one is in the secondary industry broadly classified into two types. In that first one is manufacturing industry. In secondary industry can be broadly classified into two types. In that first one is manufacturing industry. Manufacturing industries. So here manufacturing industries are those industries that are engaged in producing goods through processing of raw materials. That are engaged in producing goods through processing of raw materials, and thus creating from the utilities and creating from the utilities. So the utility means uses. Creating from the utilities, they bring out diverse finished products. That means here the raw materials can be converted or that can be created into a finished products. That is known as manufacturing industries. So here manufacturing industries are those industries which are engaged in producing goods through processing of raw materials. So they are going to collect the raw materials and the raw materials will be created into a finished products. Here they are always engaging raw materials can be converted into a finished products, and that means here they are going to make raw materials and they are going to produce a new product. It is known as manufacturing industries. Here they are going to innovate a new product through a raw materials. And the next one is here again manufacturing industries can be broadly classified into a four types. Here the manufacturing industries are broadly classified into four types. In the first one is analytical industry. Analytical industry, which is one raw material can be converted into one finished product. So the raw materials can be converted into one finished product. For example, oil refinery. So here one raw material can be converted into a different finished products is known as a analytical industry. So the analytical industry means one raw material can be converted into different finished products. Different finished products is known as analytical industry. So the analytical industry means here they are always engaged in converting their raw materials into a different product. That to be only the into different finished products. For example, oil refineries. For example, oil refineries. Oil refineries. And the second one is synthetical industry. And the second one is synthetical industry. So here synthetical industry which combines various ingredients into a new product. So here synthetical industry means here which combines various ingredients into a single product or new product. For example, cement. So the synthetical industries are those industries which combines various ingredients into new product is known as synthetical industries. For example, cement. And the next one is a processing industry. Next one is processing industry. So here the processing industries are those industries which involve successive stages for manufacturing finished products, which involves successive stages for manufacturing finished products is known as processing industry. So the processing industry means where it involves successive stages for manufacturing a finished products. For example, sugar. So here next one is processing industry. So everybody got the meaning of processing industry. Here the processing industry means here they are going to manufacture a finished product. In simple words, here they are going to manufacture a finished products. And the next one is assembling industry. And the fourth one is assembling industry. So here assembling industry which assembles different component parts to make a new product, which assembles different component parts into a new product. For example, car, television, etc. So here assembling industries. So the assembling industries are those industries here they are going to assemble the different components parts into a new product. New product is known as assembly industry. For example, car, television, etc. And next one, secondary industries may be classified into two types. One we learn the manufacturing industries, and the second one is construction industries. And the second one is construction industries. So the construction industries are those industries which are involved in the construction of roads, buildings, dams, etc. So the construction industries are those industries which are going to construct roads, buildings, dams, like architectural skills are the best example for construction industries. So everybody got the meaning of construction industry. So now we have secondary industry. Industry can be broadly classified into two types. The first one is primary industry and the second one is secondary industry. In that secondary industry, here we are going to classify it into the two types. In the first one is manufacturing industry and the second one is construction industry. So the manufacturing industries are those producing goods through a process of raw materials and creating a finished product. The manufacturing industries can be broadly classified into a four types. First one is analytical industry, synthetical industry, processing industry and assembling industry. So here they are going to ask for 4-mark question. Explain the manufacturing industries. And the next one is P. And the secondary industries can be classified into second type is construction industry. So the construction industries are those industries construction. Here they are going to involve or engage in the construction of roads, buildings, dams or any architectural skills, etc. And now let's move on to the third type. Third type that is territory industry. Territory industries. So here territory industries are those industries which are So the next third type is territory industries. So the territory industries are those industries here they are going to take a support from a primary industry and a secondary industry. Here they are going to take support from primary industry and secondary industry. So here they are going to take a support from a primary industry and as well as the secondary industries. So these industries are going to provide a services. So here they are going to provide services like banking, transportation, insurance, etc. So these are the territory industries meaning. So this will be it for the industries classification. Now let's move on to the next classification, that is second one is commerce. So the next main classification in business activities is commerce. So here commerce means buying and selling of or purchase and sale of goods and services is known as commerce. So here the commerce means purchase and sale of goods and services is known as commerce. So here the commerce can be broadly classified into two types. So the commerce can be broadly classified into two types. In the first one is trade. So first one is trade. Here the trade means buying and selling of goods and services. Buying and selling of goods and services is termed as trade. For the purpose of earning profit is known as trade. So here they are going to ask for one more question. What is trade? So here the what is trade means buying and selling of goods and services for the purpose of earning profit is known as trade. Again here the trade can be classified into two types. Trade can be classified into two types. In that first one is internal trade. So here internal trade means buying and selling of goods and services within the boundaries of nation. So the internal trade means boundaries of nation is known as internal trade. So the internal trade means buying and selling of goods and services within the boundaries of nation. So again here the internal trade can be so internal trade can be classified into wholesale trade and retail trade. So the first one is wholesale trade. So the wholesale trade refers to a buying and selling of goods and services. Buying and selling of goods and services in a large quantities. Is known as wholesale trade. So the wholesale trade means buying and selling of goods and services in a large quantities for the purpose of resale. For the purpose of resale is known as wholesale trade. And the next one is retail trade. So a retail trade means buying and selling of goods and services in a small quantities. Here buying and selling of goods and services in a small quantities for the purpose of to the ultimate consumers. Buying and selling of goods and services in a small quantities to the ultimate consumers. So it is known as retail trade. So the trade can be broadly classified into two types. In the first one is internal trade. Internal trade means buying and selling of goods and services within the boundaries of a nation. And the next one is the internal trade can be classified into two types. In the first one is wholesale trade and retail trade. So the wholesale trade means buying and selling of goods and services in a large quantities for the purpose of resale. And the next one is retail trade. So the retail trade means buying and selling of goods and services in a small quantities to the ultimate consumers is known as retail trade. Now let's move on to the second type or second classification in trade is external trade. Second classification of trade is external trade. So the external trade means buying and selling of goods and services from one or more countries is known as external trade. A trade between two or more countries. So external trade means trade between two or more countries. Two or more countries is known as external trade. And again in this external trade we are going to classify it into three types. In that first one is import trade. So the import trade means buying goods from another country. Import means buying or purchase goods from another country. And next one is export trade. So the export trade means selling goods to another country. So your export trade means selling goods and the last one is interport trade. Interport trade. So a interport trade means buying goods from one country, buying goods from one country, and that goods will be sell to the another country, is known as interport trade. So the external trade can be classified into three types. Here the external trade means trade between two or more countries, and here it can be classified into three types. The first one is import trade. So the import trade means buying goods from another country. So here we are going to purchase goods from another country, and the next one is export trade. So the export trade means selling goods to another country. Here our country is going to sell goods to another country, is known as export trade, and the next one is interport trade. So here we are going to buy goods from another country, and that goods will be sold to some other country, is known as interport trade. And next one is, here in this business activity chart, the commerce can be broadly classified into two types. In the first one is trade, it is completed now, and the next one is auxiliaries to trade. So second type is auxiliaries to trade. So the auxiliaries to trade means here they are going to provide some services. So auxiliaries to trade means here they are going to provide services like transportation, warehousing, banking and finance, and advertising. So these are the services here they are going to provide auxiliaries to trade. So in transportation, why it is helpful means here they are going to exchange or shift goods from one place to another place. Warehousing, that means here they are going to store their goods in systematic and scientific manner to maintain the original quality. And here banking and finance means here they are going to lend them money. Here they are going to lend them money or deposit money from other countries. And next one is advertising. So here they are going to give promotion for a sales for a goods, is known as advertising. So these are the brief explanation of the business chat activities. So dear students, now we are going to finish this session. So in the next session we are going to continue another new topics. So thank you one and all for listening to me.